Life Audio.
Today on Talk About That, John goes to an archaeological dig and channels his inner Indiana Jones for a history book project. Meanwhile, I take you behind the scenes for my debut performance at the Grand Ole Opry and ponder whether children's books are pro-insect propaganda. Plus, a conversation about honoring our thoughts and moods without letting them have undue influence in our lives. Today's episode is not sponsored by mineral water. It's like regular water, but it hurts your mouth. But first, a word from our actual sponsor.
Weird. How you doing?
Hey out there, I'm John. This is Johnny. Let's talk about that. Back for another episode. We're laughing because I launched into something that didn't work the first time. So
It was something about how humid it was.
hey Johnny, it's humid outside. I just froze.
But we're bone dry
Tell you
in
right
here.
now.
What are you doing?
I don't know. It's been a long.
We got it made in the shade.
I was up late because I went to a show last night.
You did. A lot of people.
I didn't get home till late, and
That's pretty. How late do you normally stay up, though, if you're honest? Y'all do Netflix and chill and hang out.
I was up till 1.
I say Netflix and chill, meaning like old people Netflix and chill, meaning you actually chill.
Right. Well, we fall asleep at Netflix all the time. Sadie was out late too at church, and then we talked when she got home, and
Sure.
I was up till 1 a.m. and then up at 6:30.
Yeah. I went to bed about almost 2, got up at 7.
Because you were hosting people.
Yeah, I had people in the house. I had my opera debut.
So that was the
last night.
show I was at, Johnny.
The Grand Ole Opry.
Guys, I want to tell you, I'm not just saying this because he's sitting here. Johnny blew it. This is one shot, and no, man, he killed it. You did so good.
Wow,
It was so funny. It was a packed house, 4,000 people or 4,400. Or
I
whatever.
don't know. Look, I
counting?
didn't have my clicker out.
But dude, I mean, you came out and you were a pro. You stood in the circle.
Stood in that circle, man. Pretty cool. I don't know if everybody that's listening understands like the significance of the Opry, because I really wouldn't have. Even though I grew up in Tennessee, I grew up in East Tennessee, and I wasn't really like a country music person. So like the lore of the Opry is really kind of new to me, meaning like past 15 years. When I moved to Middle Tennessee, I started learning more about like, oh, this is like, because I'm such an entertainment nerd, and I love the idea of like a community of entertainers putting on a variety show.
Yeah.
And it's 100 years old this year. And so, yeah, I just started learning more about it and being like, ooh, I want to be a part of this. So it was really a cool dream come true, like a cool bucket list thing that not a lot of people get to do.
No, it was awesome.
And I'll never be invited back, but I got to do it
You
They
got
can't
to
take
do-
that
no,
away.
They're going to have him back.
You
guys.
don't know.
They loved him, and
It was a lot of fun.
I will say this: I'd like to thank you because you got me backstage passes. I came early and got to hang out with you in your dressing room.
You got to big time it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fletch, shout out to Fletch, the security guy backstage.
He was great.
Had to wave everybody in and wand you. Did he wand you? Were
He
you
didn't
wanded?
wand
Yeah,
us.
okay.
He made a joke about the tickets in my name. Is like, I don't know if this is right or not, but usually they put the tickets in the wife's name because she's the responsible one. You know?
I see.
And I was like, well,
That's a line he probably uses on.
every time. And what's funny is we pulled in that back. It's a special lot. You got to get in with the security guard, you know. We pull in, I pull up, and this is so funny. And I said, you know, I don't think everybody that's coming to the show tonight for Johnny got to park back here.
No, that's true. That's true.
And then literally as I said that and where I'd parked, we look up and I parked right behind Jeffrey and Allie, who parked there.
Yeah, they were on. Well, what it is
It's like, except those people.
yeah,
that I know.
and then Curry parked our other car there because she came separate from me. But yeah, there's you have like a backstage list, and then you have a list of like comp ticket list that people have to go, and they have to get a little parking pass or whatever that they have to pay for. But they got their ticket for free.
Yeah.
But you got backstage parking and a free ticket.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what.
And a spot on the show. I couldn't believe it.
Spot on the show. Got to read some advertiser, whatever you do.
If you go back on, you really do need to get one of the famous people, because the musicians were unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, there were 8 acts. You were number 6, I think, on the night with an intermission. They all do 3 songs.
Yeah.
And you did, what, 15 minutes?
12.
12, okay.
And then a 2-minute interview after that.
Yeah. So 15
I was on
just
stage
slot
almost
or whatever.
15. Yeah.
I mean, the musicians were amazing. Just the house band, like they play a different show every night because they play for whoever's out there. And you need to get for She's Stupid.
No, I will. I really will.
One of those guys.
If I'd had time, I was gonna. It was on my list for last night, but I knew that there was no time to get into it. But I'll do it next time.
It's a bit, by the way, guys. We're not really talking about a person.
Yeah.
Johnny has a great bit called She's Stupid.
And, but yeah, I'll do it and I'll get somebody to come out and do it.
Yeah.
Once I have a little more familiarity with the place and people are.
Well, they loved you, man.
Yeah, it was really fun. I was so nervous most of the day, and I don't normally get nervous because a lot of your shows you just kind of know, well, this will be this. I've been in this situation before, and sometimes you can go, well, this is just another show. I'll treat it like another show, but that's one of the ones where you go, that doesn't really work.
Right, you need to be present and actually see.
You want to enjoy it, and some shows just do have more weight, and you have to just live in that and deal with it, and just stand and deliver. And there's an old quote from I can't remember who said it. Maybe it was Churchill. He said, sometimes it's not enough to do your best. You must do what is required. And I think entertainment is just like the show must go on.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you got butterflies. And so I was very respectful and aware of the gravity of it, but also like I made up my mind, we're going to have fun. I'm going to have fun. So once I walked out and got the first laugh, I was like, oh, this is just like, this is what I do. And I got really comfortable immediately. So I was glad because I didn't know that was going to happen.
I think it's the only time, and I've been with you on some big shows. I've been when you were opening for Nate.
Yeah.
Big show. I've been when you were on America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, for some reason, was one of the only times I wasn't nervous like about it, but I was, as you were somewhere midway through the act, I thought, because I know the jokes so well.
Yeah.
I started thinking, oh, if I was telling this right now, it would be really easy for me to say something backwards.
Right.
And I had like this fear, almost like for me, as if, what if Johnny did that?
What if I fumble the words?
Because I could easily, because the words are so important.
Yeah.
But dude, you were a pro. You nailed it. And then you were even interacting with the audience some, and you would talk about Opry things in the middle of it without getting off. I mean, it was again, consummate professional.
I'm more relieved. This time was like, I wanted to enjoy myself and I wanted to kind of get this one under my belt and just hope you do well enough to get invited back, because I know there's comics that I know that have done it like 300 times.
Yeah.
Like if you get in with the Opry and you're a local, they'll just be like, can you do Tuesday?
Well, because they have a show every night.
Do it. Right.
Yeah.
So I would love to do that kind of stuff. When I'm home, like, yeah, let's go. I know we talked about this. Me and Sadie would pray on the way past the Opry to volleyball practice. But for years, I've been wondering, like, why does Johnny, this local guy, maybe he's not as good as I think.
Actually,
is that what you had to admit to yourself?
I was proven to be right.
You were proven to be right. You were great. Although I didn't get on AGT, and you thought that
I was wrong about that. But actually, I wasn't
wrong about that.
I was not wrong about your performance. Yeah. And you had 3 judges standing ovation.
Right. Yeah.
4. Sorry.
No, only 3 of the 4 stood up.
But you got 4 yeses.
I got 4 yeses, and 3, like really enthusiastic yeses. But Simon just doesn't stand up unless you're like, a 5-year-old that's, doing Gangster's Delight or whatever. Yeah.
What I was wrong about was that
is that the hip hop? Is that Gangster's Delight? What is that? Is that what that? Anyway, I
can't believe with that sort of reaction from the crowd and the judges that the producers chose not to. That's John, what I couldn't account for.
Look, come on. Some things happen the way they're supposed to happen.
And I need those. Look, if you're listening, producer, you do it. If you could have seen Johnny on Grand Ole Opry, you'd be like, oh my gosh, what were we thinking?
They really blew it.
Yeah. There was the kid, I call him a kid, he's 19, I forget his name, the last act.
Yeah.
Who was the runner-up for The Voice? Or for
American Idol.
American Idol, yeah.
Yeah, and
he was like a 19-year-old George Jones.
Yeah,
or George Strait.
Dude, he's gifted. And that kid, like my brother knew of him. My brother, John Foster.
Yeah.
John Foster. So John Foster had just made his debut like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And they already had him back.
On his 19th birthday.
So he was like going up and down the hallway, like doing social media videos, and you could tell he was still kind of in his feelings about it, because like it's like a church to somebody. If you're a country artist, that's hallowed ground.
Yeah,
like it was hallowed ground to me just as an entertainer, because I love that vaudeville spirit of what the Opry is. There's really nothing like it anymore.
Yeah,
where you had just this hodgepodge of a variety of different things, and now that they've really started incorporating comedy a lot more, now you see it happening a lot more. Because like there was a time in the 90s and early aughts where it just wasn't. There was not comedy on every show. Now it feels like they try to involve a comedian a lot more. Do you not have the?
Sorry,
John's got the screen. He had Chad on there. People are gonna be zooming in on what you were.
Yeah,
it's okay. If you want to watch the YouTube video, John, how would they find YouTube.
Oh, they'd go to talkaboutthatpodcast.com.
Full video episodes. See our faces.
Yeah.
See what weird thing John had on the screen just then.
You never know.
Zoom in. See his passwords.
If you could zoom into my office right now, it's an interesting place.
It's like a researcher's table you got sitting out here.
And you may notice today I'm dressed a little differently. I'm wearing boots, and that's because I got to go to an archeological dig this morning.
Indiana Jones
for the book
style.
that I'm writing, and hang out with archaeologist, amazing guy, showed me around Fort Negley, which is a part of the story.
Did you was there any like cool adventures that you went on did you get into little Raiders of the Lost Ark stuff?
Yeah, we were chased by this huge boulder. I couldn't believe it.
That's weird. You'd have to like measure out just enough sand to
I know.
Put the place on the...
Yeah, he was... No.
I wonder how many people became archaeologists
because of that.
After seeing those movies and like thinking like, oh, get a whip and all.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I want to hear more about this, but let's do it after the break because we need to hear right now, John, from a few of our fine sponsors.
And we're back.
You said they found a bullet.
They did.
And you didn't know for sure if it was is it a present day bullet?
You know, that's a great question. I'm going to go back to chat here.
Oh boy. Now John's typing on the screen. Is this going to be a thing that we do now? You're asking it, is the bullet we found today? Chat was there. Pulls up traffic cams.
So yeah, I would think not. It was a 38. That's what I thought.
Yeah, 38.
It was not available in the 1860s, which is when this fort was being used.
Yeah.
After the Civil War, developed 38 Special was 1898. Anyway,
and then of course 38 Special the band was 1988.
There you go. Yeah, someone found a bullet in one of the dig sites. But it's like Fort Negley's been rebuilt. It was rebuilt by the WPA during the Depression.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's got layers. He was showing me the different layers of the earth, you know.
Yeah, like the strata
out,
of all the different, it's like rings on a tree, right? You can see the different.
It's really interesting. I mean, and he's like, we're trying to figure out what this layer, is this layer like the WPA time or is this before? So, you know, and I watch a lot of Curse of Oak Island, so I know all about this stuff. I didn't say that today.
No.
Thought about that joke. I was like, nah, just play it cool, man.
Well, in case he hates that show, because well, actually that set us back 50 years. It's a disgrace to our trade.
Yeah, he was great. And he worked for the city of Nashville. And then he took me down, because Fort Negley's on St. Cloud Hill. So it's a high, like it's a hike.
I think, wasn't that on the WB? Wasn't that on the WB network, St. Cloud Hill?
It does sound like that, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like a show with like voiceovers and little blonde children. Just like, I don't want to wait. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Dawson's.
The true story of St. Cloud Hill, Johnny, is
it's a little darker.
It's a little more daunting than that.
Well, it's a Civil War fort.
It's a fort.
The highest point in Nashville, you said.
Well, I don't know if it's the highest point, but it feels like it when you're up there. I think the Capitol might be just as high, but you can see everything around Nashville from there.
In order to shoot people from.
Right. And it's like an impenetrable, like it was quite the place. But the thing about it is, and one of the reasons I was there is they're finding, that's not what he was working on today, but they're finding human remains that have stopped some of the developments around there because in the 1860s, when the Union in 1862 retook Nashville from the Confederacy, without a battle, they just ran away. They
just said they wanted it. They were like, called it.
Well,
dibs.
The Confederacy had occupied Nashville for 9 months.
Okay.
And during that 9 months, they, like, if you read the original things, it was like they thought they were indestructible. It was like the feeling was at a high that we're the superior force. This is our home.
Yeah.
You know, we'll win this war in no time. What they did not do in that 9 months was build any fortifications to keep Nashville. And so Fort Henry and Fort Donelson, which is up near Clarksville, when they fell to General Grant, it was actually called the Great Panic. There's a book over here I have about it. That's a part of Nashville history people really don't know about. Like, they freaked out. Like the state legislature, which is Confederate state legislature, they picked up all their papers and ran to Memphis. The army just left town, went to Murfreesboro south. Nathan Bedford Forrest stayed behind to try to keep some order and bring out the final stuff. And they blew up the bridge over the Cumberland River, trying to stop, access to it. But people freaked out and they ran. It's like they'd not thought that there was a chance. So when the gunboats came down the Cumberland River, there was no battle. They just surrendered the cities because they thought they were going to destroy it. And they were just going to bomb it or shoot cannon at it. So basically, that's 1862. From there, though, they needed to build this fort because now they knew the Confederates could come back and try to retake the city.
Yeah.
And the Union soldiers impressed former slaves or active slaves. They tried to pay the Confederate owners who still had slaves in Nashville for their slaves to come build the fort and the fortifications. And then even the free blacks, Nashville had one of the higher populations of free blacks in the South. And they would impress them into service and usually not pay them. They're supposed to, but often they did not. And so if you really read the historical account, they would surround, the Union soldiers would surround their churches on Sunday. And when they would come out, they would basically, round them up and make them go work on the fort. And so like the fort became, that St. Cloud Hill became this place where people are working nonstop, and like the women would come and they would cook for their families, and they would be living in tents and other things out there. They would work all day and sleep out there and sometimes not have enough food or other things and not be getting paid. And then the Confederate, they had to be protected eventually because this is what's awful. Like they're still property. And so the Confederates in the air would come try to take them back or hurt them. And so at one point, this is the craziest story, in 1862 in November, Nathan Bedford Forrest's cavalry, which is like obviously one of the more brutal parts of the war, is the stuff he did like at Fort Pillow. And so he's not going to be merciful, especially if you're black. And they're like guerrilla warfare. So they're just coming and going and no one knows where they're going to pop out. And they were in the area and they had been attacking things near Murfreesboro Road. And literally the people building, the black people building the fort went to the Union officers and said, you got to give us guns. Like you got to arm us. We got to protect ourselves. And it was against the policy to do that. So they allowed them to take their tools. And they made this symbolic, like to protect the thing that they're building in themselves. They like shoulder to shoulder around Fort Negley that wasn't finished yet, holding like pitchforks and axes and other things to protect themselves. And Nathan Bedford Forrest never showed up right then. But they're finding remains because they think around all the fortifications of Nashville, somewhere between 600 and 800 black folks who were impressed into labor died. In the building of it all. So anyway, that's why I'm looking, because the guy I'm writing about was at that fort on the Battle of Nashville. But I met some great people that I met, the historic site director of Fort Negley, and he was great. And we're going to, be working together.
That's cool. And some of the stories that you're trying to tell haven't been told in a long time, or like the whole picture hasn't been put together yet in book form. Right. I mean, so you're kind of breaking new ground for real. It's kind of cool.
The story I'm writing has a lot of lore.
Yeah.
And that's what these guys were like. All we've really heard is the sort of family tales.
Yeah, tall tales about it.
And I was going into like the complexity of the politics and what happened in the occupied Nashville, then Reconstruction Nashville, then, what's going on nationally. Yeah, I remember Andrew Johnson, the president, was the military governor of Tennessee before this. And my guy becomes a fierce enemy of Andrew Johnson. But my guy, it's crazy. In the end, I don't want to give it away. No. But I found a letter this week, original letter that literally his brother, who was a slave owner, who was a huge rebel, his daughter married a Union captain. And then my guy, who was a staunch Unionist, his daughter married a former bodyguard of Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy. And so like in 1870, he's like, we just got to keep moving on now. Like,
right. You got to put everything back together.
Which is, horrible then for what came next with Jim Crow from 1876 forward. But anywho, I'm going to have a website up hopefully soon where people can begin to pre-order or hear
if you're a history buff, this will be the book for you, because it's just got a lot of stuff about like the nature of the Civil War and then Reconstruction and just trying to put the country back together and mistakes made, but also like it's just easy to put people into these pods of like, well, this guy's on the right side of it. This guy's on the wrong side.
Right.
It's like, it's so complex.
Very complex.
Yeah,
and
in the moment.
That's kind of the whole thing. Like, yeah, there's not just, abolitionists and slaveholders. And
right.
They had
a lot of pragmatists.
Well, I mean, what you had were constitutional unionists, they call
right.
themselves, and they are anti-slavery, or at least anti the spread of slavery
right.
into the new territories. But they're more pro-union than anything. And within them, there's a spectrum. My guy is very anti-slavery, but there are others who are former Whigs who they don't care as much about that as much as preserving the union.
You keep saying my guy like you don't want to say his name. Are you afraid to reveal his name, John? You'll have to stay tuned.
It's complicated if I say his name.
It's time to take another short break. No, we'll reveal his name.
Yeah, but it was fun.
I don't know. Well, that's awesome, man. I'm excited to read. I'm a history guy, so I'm excited to read that one. That'll be a fun one. That'll be I just like stuff that's the behind the scenes of like, here's the story and here's what you don't know. Here's the piece that's missing. And I think that this book may be some of that stuff where it's like, oh, there's a lot to this, the layers to it. So
what's funny is right down the hill from there is the Nashville Old City Historic Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I called you afterwards, because we're going to meet up, for podcasting today, like I do this, I'm just walking around among graves because half the guys I'm writing about, they're all buried right there. The first Confederate general to die in the Civil War is a cousin by marriage to my unionist guy I'm writing about. And I didn't realize till today that their graves are like, and they're both big monument graves.
And won't that
they're like 50 feet apart.
You fight against each other and then you go
yeah. And they're cousins by marriage.
But aren't we? Yeah.
Isn't that
we're all part of humanity, the tapestry of what have you.
Yeah.
Just like our long feud. One day it'll end and then they'll put our graves right beside each other.
Someday. I've actually left some orders in my will. Not to do that.
All right,
so.
Well, as long as I get your truck.
Johnny, it's about that time.
All right, let's do it.
It's my quote of the week, a segment we call They Talked About That. Oh, you went bass today.
Thought I would.
C.S. Lewis, because...
Clive Staples Lewis.
Because, man, why not?
Yeah. Clive isn't like a name that you see. A lot of these old names are coming back.
We don't see Clive.
We got to bring back Clive, man.
I could just make this whole segment just about C.S. Lewis, and we would still not run out.
Right.
But he said, this is actually from Mere Christianity. He said, now faith, in the sense in which I am here using the word, is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted in spite of your changing moods. For moods will change, whatever view your reason takes. I know that by experience. Now that I'm a Christian, I do have moods in which the whole thing looks very improbable. But when I was an atheist, I had moods in which Christianity looks terribly probable. This rebellion of your moods against your real self is going to come anyway. That is why faith is such a necessary virtue. Unless you teach your moods where they can change, you can never be either a sound Christian or even a sound atheist, but just a creature dithering to and fro with its beliefs really dependent on the weather and the state of its digestion. Consequently, one must train the habit of faith. So this idea, like, you can't even be a good atheist if you just depend on your mood,
right?
As opposed to having it grounded in something. And I don't know, I think having a teenage daughter, and I was praying this morning, like, I'm no really better than the teenagers right now. I feel that my moods come and go based upon circumstances right now, usually based upon the circumstances that my daughter is going through, because I feel deeply connected. If you do Enneagram stuff, I'm a thinker first, but being a dad, I'm a feeler first.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know what it's like, and it hurts real bad. Like, I don't think of it logically. When I was a youth pastor and a kid went through something, I could see it subjectively. And I could be like, okay, it's going to be okay. And it made me a stronger, I think, advocate to be like, it's all right. Like, I could see outside of their thing. As a dad, I can't seem to see outside of it very well. I have to really get out of my mood. I have to get out of that place to see a bigger reality, because I feel like I'm in it. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm feeling it too. That idea, though, man, how did he say it again? The rebellion of your moods against your real self is going to come. And I think about even the danger of therapy language in our culture today, because it really is about dealing with your feelings, and they're so important. I'm so glad we have it. I just think if you've ever gone to a real therapist, they never want you to just be in your feelings or your history or your patterns for the sake of knowing just who to blame. There may be somebody that is a cause,
right?
But it's so that you can begin to deal with it, right? So that you can deal with
like
the
surgery.
rebellion of your own feelings.
You cut so you can heal. You don't cut just to bleed.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's that thing too in therapy that I always like this quote of like, don't believe everything you think. Like that's kind of about the moods thing too. Like it's okay to have thoughts, but there's a time to, like the Bible talks about casting down thoughts. Like there's a time to cast, there's intrusive thoughts that you're supposed to cast down and go, this isn't how I need to be feeling right now. I'm going to acknowledge it and validate it, but I'm not going to act on it because I don't believe everything I think.
No, that's really good. And I said that to Sadie the other day. As you get older, I was like, now you've had experiences with your thoughts or with your intrusive belief systems or whatever that come at you, that once you recognize them, you can say, oh, I've already been in that dark closet.
Yeah.
I've explored every part of it.
Right. And for Sadie, it's an actual dark closet because that's where you keep her when she's bad.
She's got to learn something.
John's a real disciplinarian.
But I was like, I've learned, like I told someone yesterday, I told one of our staff members actually 2 days ago, I was like, look, I've seen hopelessness. I've experienced it. At least on some level. Yeah. And I've decided I've mined that hole enough. Like I've gone down pretty deep and I know where it goes. It doesn't go anywhere. And so when I begin to feel, though, again, the sense that I should feel this all the way, I don't need to feel that all the way. Like I'm not discarding the feeling altogether. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be felt to its total end because I know where the end is. And I don't, that's a lot to tell to a 16 or 17-year-old, right? But like, you could begin to recognize when the moods or the feelings show up that, oh, I know you already. You don't need it doesn't have to be an enemy. If you do IFS, internal family systems, it'll talk about, your parts or your feelings or whatever those things are. They're not supposed to be enemies to you. They're supposed to be almost like children or friends that mean well, but get spun out or can't see the full picture. They're trying to protect you, but they'll freak out in doing so. And they just need to be reminded. And when you recognize them, that's the big thing. He actually says that the first step is the next line is to recognize the fact that your moods change. So that if I can recognize it in the moment, then I might not be able to stop feeling that way, but I can begin the process of saying this feeling doesn't need to be trusted to its full end, especially its full darkest end. So, yeah.
This is good. I think we're doing a lot of good today.
Let me tell you.
We've had history. We've had therapy.
We've had the Grand Ole Opry.
We've had Opry. John, it's time for my segments. Let's start with Johnny's old jokes. We call it Joke About That. John, a rough and tough cowboy, finishes his drink at a bar, gets up to leave. A minute later, he comes back and saying, with a mean look in his eye, I'm going to sit down and have one more drink. And if my horse isn't back where I left it, I'm going to have to do what I done in Texas. And I really don't want to have to do what I done back in Texas. True to his word, he sits down, orders another drink, sits in the silent bar and finishes his drink. Then he gets up, walks outside, and sure enough, his horse is back, tied up where he left it. As he's just about to ride off, one of the other patrons timidly asks, Mister, what was it you had to do in Texas? The cowboy gets a far-off look in his eyes and says sadly, I had to walk home. It's a long way to go for that one.
It was.
John, have you heard about the web? Listen, you're a big web person because you've been typing in on chat during the show.
Sorry about that, guys.
Conjunctivitis.com. Now there's a site for sore eyes. John, a man is attending the Super Bowl when he notices an empty seat. Thinking this to be strange, the man asks the person sitting next to the empty seat if he knows who sits there. The guy replies, well, I bought 2 tickets for my wife a long time ago, but she passed away. So the man asks, couldn't you have brought someone else? They're all at the funeral.
You see, guys.
Men love their sports, is what we're saying. More than our wives. Is that what
That's what it was saying, yeah.
Is that what you feel?
No.
Okay. No. John, let's do This Week in History. We call it Talk About Then. Big week, John. this one in 1985.
Mm.
After much public outcry and poor sales, Coca-Cola announces it is bringing back its original formula and calling it Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah.
The Coke flavor had been changed to New Coke less than 3 months earlier. And one of the more, it was a debacle, right? That was one of the more tone-deaf things an American company has ever done.
You know why they did it?
Why?
I know you're going to make fun of me. I know why.
I think I know because Food Built America. I mean, let's see if I can guess and get it close.
All right.
Because I think I've seen a lot of the Cola Wars. I've listened to some Cola Wars podcasts. I think the thinking was people wanted sweeter, and Coke is more of a savory. It's sweet, but it's more savory drink. And Pepsi was very sweet, and it was starting to do pretty well. Pepsi Challenge had happened. So Coke made New Coke to be sweeter like Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi was really eating into their market share now for real. Like they were a true competitor, if not overtaking them, I think, after one of those, maybe the challenge or whatever.
Well, the Pepsi Challenge, even in the Cola Wars documentary that I watched, they said that the Pepsi Challenge really took them by surprise. And the reason it would win, no one would ever sit down and drink a glass of Pepsi and a glass of Coke and say that Pepsi was better. But if you drink a sip of Pepsi and a sip of Coke, people would choose Pepsi like 7 times out of 10.
Because you got the sweet
got that sweet, huge rush. But if you're going to just sit and have a glass of something, people would choose Coke 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean, you get people in want to get in fist fights in restaurants if they try to give you Pepsi.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like Coke is better. But the Pepsi Challenge, they figured out a way to get people to choose Pepsi. And it was give them a little taste. Give them a little bit, just enough to where the poison. No, I'm just kidding. Pepsi's not a sponsor, but if they were, it'd be fine. We'd take their money. But New Coke was such a misstep. But less than 3 months earlier, they had changed to New Coke. New Coke remained available for a while and was actually renamed Coke 2 in 1992 and then discontinued altogether in 2002. I can't believe it hung on for 10 years.
I didn't know that.
There was a Coke 2 on your shelves just gathering dust.
If you call something 2,
you're admitting like
this is not as good as
it's a sequel,
one.
Not as good. I mean, other than Terminator 2 was better.
That's true, way better.
There's a few. What sequels would you say are better? Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Terminator 2. Indiana Jones Temple of Doom, not better than Raiders. I mean, think of the great sequels. Jaws 2, terrible.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 2, not as good as Back to the Future 1. Holds up better than you would think now. Yeah, but at the time you thought
you can't
it's a lot of self-referential things.
Right, it comes back into one. Right.
So it's hard to find the sequel that kind of really expands on the idea. And like Coke 2 was another example, yet another example of like we're overreaching. We had a great product, and we just thought, what if we just scrap it?
Yeah, but the deal was Coke Classic took off for them.
Oh no! And a lot of people think they did that on purpose.
It actually
was
brought
a gimmick.
It back. Yeah,
there are conspiracy theorists who think that they did it to drive sales back up because you drive demand by taking it away, scarcity. People were going to like old country stores and buying cases because they thought this is the last of it.
Well, and think about it. It's like also there was a little bit of humility that people respond to that.
Sure.
And so you basically get them back interested in what you are now admitting you were wrong about because think about this. This is the depth. I'm admitting I'm wrong about the fact that I had the better product the whole time.
Right.
You're not admitting that your product's bad. You're admitting that you were wrong about how good your product is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a, man, these
And you're almost saying to
advertising-
them, you should have appreciated us when we were here.
No, we should have appreciated us.
Right, and now we're back. And then all of a sudden people just go back to the stores in droves.
If we started another podcast, maybe we could do that.
If we talk about that too.
And then like 5 episodes in, we're like, guys, this is a disaster. We admit that we should all go back and listen to Talk About That Podcast.
Where would you do such a thing, John?
TalkAboutThatPodcast.com.
All the episodes, over 350 archived there. Support the show. Click that upper right-hand link. We love our patrons. We really do. Send us a note. Hello. At Talk About That Podcast. I think we have an email. We'll read that after this. John, the hottest day in the U.S. happened this week, 1913. Death Valley, California. Do you want to guess what the temperature was? Fahrenheit?
141.
134.
Okay.
But that's
up there.
That'll fry an egg on your head.
Yeah.
That's up there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to do a show in October in Yucca Valley, which is about 4 hours south, but it's in Joshua Tree National Park. And somebody said to me, like, because I said, we're going to take an extra day and go to Joshua Tree. It's never been. It's one of these desert parks, national parks. And they're like, when are you going? Because they used to live near there. And I go, October. And they go, okay, you should be okay. Because I was going to say, if it's summer, like, don't bother even getting out of your car. Like, it's
that hot.
Miserable.
Yeah.
So we're going to go try to see the old, I don't know what there is to see in Joshua, other than the Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Just, but I don't know.
That's our mutual friend, right? Who told you that?
Yes, Sherry Grossman, who was at the Opry show last night.
Yeah, love
friend of the show, loyal listener.
Friend of the show. But I'm saying she can tell you what to do in Joshua Tree.
She could tell me exactly what to do.
Now, she was
She was like a guide, an intern or something, right out of college, right?
Yeah, was she not a full-fledged ranger, right?
She was a full-fledged Weebelo. I don't know what they call them.
She's screaming right now.
What is the thing that you do?
It's a rangerette. I don't know.
She was
I said that just to get Sherry screaming.
National Park know-it-all. That's what they call them. You get a little badge.
She'll tell you what to do in Joshua Tree. I like it.
I need all the help I can get. John, this week, Harvey Ball was born in 1921. Do you know what he created?
The ball?
The smiley face.
What?
The smiley face was an invention. He was an American commercial artist. He created the popular smiley face.
The yellow one?
1963, which has since become an international icon. Ball was hired as a freelance artist by State Mutual Life Insurance Company of Worcester, or I think it's Worcester, Massachusetts. It looks like Worcester, but I think it's Worcester. Worcester, Massachusetts, now Hanover Insurance, to create an image to help improve employee morale. It took him less than 10 minutes to create the smiley face with the lopsided smile, and he even had one eye kind of bigger, like a little slot, so it's a little bit kind of crazed. They had an image of it in the thing the post, but I thought, that is really, it is kind of striking. The company made 100 pins with the image to pass out to employees. The pins proved popular, and more than 50 million smiley face pins were sold by 1971. However, this is where the dark side of history. We've had this happen so many times in this segment.
He did not have the patent.
Never trademarked the image and was only paid $45 for his work.
Wow. So he didn't have
Guys,
a
I
smiley
need you to
face.
go trademark your intellectual property right now because you're blowing it. It's like when you read the stories about these, these artists, that the guy that wrote My Girl sold it for $500. You just go, no, dude, not my girl. What are you doing? It was your girl. Not anymore. Somebody else's girl.
By the way, the guy that what's his name? Don
Schlitz last night. Yeah, that was on the Opry.
He was very funny. He was like, they introduced him. He was like in every Hall of Fame there was, and he got there. He's like, guys, y'all have no idea.
He did the thing right away of going like, you applauded, but you're all squinting at me like you have no idea who I am.
Because he's a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then the songs he had written, we looked it up while I'm sure everybody did.
It's wild.
Yeah. It was like when he went into When You Say Nothing at All, which is Alison Krauss. I mean, it was like, holy moly. And
you say it best when you say nothing at all, which I think should have been called I Love You, Shut Up. But that didn't.
And he wrote The Gambler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can just start playing The Gambler and singing it, like people, like it's a nostalgia tornado for most people that were born in that decade and came of age in that decade.
And he said that when he pitched that one, he said, so I wrote this, most of my life I'll write and I'll sit in front of these guys in suits and they'll fold their arms and they'll stare at me and they'll go, what else you got? He said, and I thought this was interesting from the creative standpoint of confidence in yourself, because he wasn't cocky. Yeah. He said, the song I'm about to play for you I wrote when I was 23, because he's in his 60s now, or 70s. And he's like, and it was the first song that I ever had recorded. Right. And it was The Gambler.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
It was like one of his first songs.
That's wild.
So it's like, actually, Suits, I was good the whole time. Like, you just didn't, I was like, that proves it. So,
holy moly, look up Don Schlitz if you get a chance, dear listeners. John, this week, 1892, the U.S. Patent Office declares, speaking of intellectual property, the U.S. Patent Office declares that Joseph Swan of England had invented the carbon filament incandescent lamp a year before Thomas Edison. How come we're just now finding this out? Like, it's been it's been out there. 1892 is when they declared it. Wow. How come you and I grew up with Thomas Edison? Did you ever even know the name Joseph Swan?
Was he British, you said?
Yeah, Joseph Swan of England.
I wonder if that's why.
Talk about some propaganda.
Yeah, like we
never even knew the guy's name. No, it would be different if that, like, there's been some conjecture of who invented the light bulb between these two men. It's like, we don't even know one of the guy's names. But somewhere a patent office in the U.S., mind you, had said, no, he invented it a year earlier.
Interesting.
And yet Edison gets all the quotes like, I've just found 452 ways that it doesn't work. Like, we give him all this.
Well, maybe that they were parallel.
And then I stole from Joseph Swan and we're off to the races.
It doesn't mean he stole. It could be that.
Take that, you filthy Brit.
A lot of things I read or watch will say that two different people were both working on it and one got there sooner and they didn't know that they got there sooner. So, but yeah, you heard it here, guys. This is breaking news.
Joseph Swan of the England Swans.
The English Swans.
The English Swans, the Brit Swans. John finally this week born. By the way, do you feel like you get credit for everything that do you feel like some people are out there taking credit for your inventions or your ideas?
No.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Not well, except for emojis that Apple did.
You think, but I'm saying
we
you had the idea for
everything.
Oh, boy.
And tried to get
but you didn't,
app developer, and then eventually someone did it and sold it to them.
But you didn't develop it. You just had an idea. It's like saying I invented wireless headphones, but you didn't invent them. You just thought it'd be great if this wire wasn't here.
Yeah. Why'd you ask then?
I don't know. It just feels fun to shoot you down. John, born this week, 1899. We celebrate today. E.B. White. Elwyn Brooks White. Do you know?
I know a lot of E.B. White quotes.
American Pulitzer Prize winning author and essayist. Stuart Little, Charlotte's Web. How about that? 1945, Stuart Little. 1952, Charlotte's Web. Here's the thing about Charlotte's Web. I like Charlotte's Web a lot because, it's got a ton of great themes in it that you really don't see in a lot of other books. There's something about it. The relationships between the animals. But I think it kind of demystified bugs for kids too. Like you had a hero character that was a spider, which scares kids. Mm-hmm. Don't you think that did something to like our childhood? Like when you go, oh, the spider is this really humble, helpful creature. And even does some sacrificial at the end. The spider, and all the little babies, as she's dying, one of the little babies comes back and stays with Wilbur in the end of the book. So it's like this weird sacrificial thing that's happening in the circle of life. You're learning all this from this terrifying bug if you're a kid.
Right.
And I think there's something about that. I think that there's some intentionality in that. So,
well, oddly enough, one of the quotes I did not use today, and the reason is I haven't verified it.
Oh, boy.
So maybe E.B. White didn't really say this.
Okay.
But it would play into this if he's trying to make a point that the people you sometimes think are scary or whatever.
Right.
He said, if he said it.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know. I haven't had time to verify.
We don't know.
Because this is all right now happening in real time.
Send your complaints to and revisions to hello. Talk about that podcast.
If he might have said, prejudice is a great time saver. You can form opinions without having to get the facts.
Interesting. So, that's cool.
I wonder if he didn't say it, that does play into Charlotte's Web a little bit.
Yeah.
Because your idea of that spider could have been wrong.
I don't know. It's like you use these cute animal characters, but there's some big ideas floating around. That's kind of what's cool. What a children's book could be. Before now, they're all being written by AI, and it's just like, the happy alligator. And you're like, okay, this was churned out by chat. But, when you had to sit down and think about, writing a children's book that was going to have some heavy themes, or like I'm a big Shel Silverstein guy, and he's so silly, but so deep too. Like he had both kind of layers going on. And obviously Dr. Seuss even had some of that too, where there's some deep themes in these things. But I was thinking about Charlotte's Web today when I was putting that together, and I was like, yeah, there's something about that, because I'm still a little bit afraid of spiders, but like Charlotte's Web kind of demystified and made a lot of kids go touch a spider and maybe get bit. And so
thanks a lot, E.B. White.
Yeah, you did it. Oh, sheesh.
That's the legacy.
Look, Mommy, I kept this Black Widow. Screams echo through the house.
Yeah.
Don't touch Black Widows, kids.
Go to your room. But I don't want to be a brown recluse. Sorry. Okay.
That was...
Johnny, I can't. Rage. Sorry. I know Opry comedian.
We can start that. We can edit that out.
I don't want to be a recluse. Did you get my text right before you went on?
You were trying to get me to do one of your jokes.
I was just trying to lighten the mood for you.
It did.
You
Sorry if I didn't. Well,
yet.
I had my phone.
You had nothing else going on right then.
I know. So. What's funny is it was a lot of hurry up and wait. And, you're there all day, basically, because I had sound check at 5. And then I'm just like there till 8:30 when I go on. And then they go 5 minutes. I go, okay. And I started like getting my guitar tuned. And then I realized I've not changed. I had to go grab my dressier shoes.
Oh, wow.
I was going to walk out there in my tennis shoes, which I didn't want to do, which would have been fine. But
wow.
I was like, all that time waiting around, and then it's like, oh, my shoes.
Yeah, I kind of wanted
Cinderella.
I kind of wanted them to bring your guitar out and set it up for you on a stand.
Oh, really?
You came out with it, but I wanted.
You didn't like it?
They were setting up everything else.
I had it kind of hanging at my side.
No,
though.
I liked it once you did that. But before I was like, they're setting up everybody else's music.
They would have. I think it was my choice. Next time, who knows?
Do you have a locking strap?
No, it could have come off.
You made me nervous.
It could have come off, and it has before.
Locking straps make a big difference.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah.
We need some.
You need that.
I need some endorsements. Maybe now that I've done the Opry, do you think some endorsements are on their way?
Guys, if you're out there, we're dying for some endorsements.
I don't. Maybe endorsements, the Avid endorsement. John,
right?
you have a book that people could buy right now. Is it on sale still on Amazon?
There's only one way to find out, guys.
The Ultimate Guide
for the Avid Indoorsman. It actually is a book I'm really, really proud of, Johnny.
Yeah. Well, you should be.
It won quite a few awards. Avid, you can. I'm doing what you can do right now, listener.
Mm-hmm.
Look, it came up in the search, and right now you can buy it for $6.42 on Amazon. Look at that.
What a savings.
Yeah.
Go to my website, jonniew.com, after you buy John's book, and you can find out about some new tour dates. I'm in Goshen, Indiana this weekend.
The land of Goshen.
It is. It's very biblical.
Yeah.
I said it was biblical sounding at lunch today, and you go, it is biblical. I go, oh, well, that explains it.
It's where the Hebrews lived in Egypt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The land of Goshen.
Yeah.
But not Indiana.
If I remember correctly, when the plague of darkness came, I think it was not dark in Goshen.
Okay.
I don't know where you can.
I like the sound of that.
Don't quote me. That's been a minute since
I've
studied
city on a
that
hill.
story. But
don't hide your light under a bushel, Goshen.
So, better.
Anyway, you can Goshen and get some tickets if you want. I'll be there Friday and Saturday, July 11th and 12th. And tickets still available on my website, jonniew.com. Lots of shows coming up. I'll be in Nashville doing my full show, Jonnie W. and Friends, at the Lab at Zany's. And there's still a few tickets available for that one. Limited seating there. It's only a 100-seat venue. So please get your tickets to that one. Come say hello. A lot of my funny friends are going to be at that one. Some pop-ins, some surprises. Come on, it's Nashville. You never know who's going to pop in. But as some funny folks are going to be there. That's July 22nd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe John will pop on and tell a few. I can't get him to do it. I can't get you to do it.
Who?
You.
Me?
Get your set ready. No?
No, I'm now into...
You're in history mode now.
Hey, listen, I have jokes. I went to the class.
You'd be like, let's talk about Fort Pillow, everybody. Anybody else?
Is it too soon? I don't know. You know what? Here's the thing. If I only had someone to coach me.
Yeah.
Like, you could coach me into like 3 minutes.
I would love to.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. All right. Mark your calendars.
I'm not going to do it for that night, probably, but yeah.
Unmark your calendars, everybody.
Unmark them, guys. Uncheck.
Sheesh.
Guys, what a fun show. Thanks for spending the time with us, and it means a lot. Thanks. We've been getting a lot of emails, and appreciate you guys sending that.
We need to read a couple next week.
Next week, yeah.
Next week. Keep sending them, and then we'll have a stockpile to choose from, and then we'll choose and I will abbreviate these. I'll have chat go, hey, give me the Cliff's Notes.
Like, did this guy really say this?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, it means a lot. Send it to us, and we'll see you next week. You're on.
Talk about that.